Cheers, everybody. What's up? Welcome to the Mash and Drum Whiskey Room on a Wednesday night. Hell of a night to see you guys. I am fired up. We're going to have a friggin' kick-ass show. Hope you enjoyed the intro tonight, guys. That was something a little bit for Eddie Van Halen, who died, unfortunately, this past week due to cancer. Between Neil Peart this year, who was one of my heroes, and Eddie Van Halen. So I mean, lost the first two concerts I ever saw. First one was Rush. The second concert I ever saw was Van Halen. So to lose those two in the same year, 2020 can go fuck themselves. Seriously. But good thing we have whiskey to pay tribute to. So tonight, to kick off the night for a really good dram, I am actually opened up my bottle of Wild Turkey from 1984. So 1984 is a tribute to one of the best well-known albums from Van Halen. Hits like Jump and Hot for Teacher, all those great songs. So this is a 1984 bottle of Wild Turkey in tribute to Eddie Van Halen. Tonight is my first pour. So cheers to everybody coming in. Cheers to Eddie Van Halen. Thank you, man, for the amazing music. You were a maestro of the guitar. What he did on the guitar was ridiculous. So cheers, everybody. Raise your glass, and let's get the night started here. Well, the night's already started because of Trev Wilson, the Ranch. Holy shit. Kick-ass live stream tonight, buddy. Cheers, guys. Yeah, that's right. Wildlife and whiskey. Yep. I don't want to see who was my third concert. I want them to be safe. Oh my God. Yeah, when MTV actually played music, that's actually a good call out. So here's the bottle of Wild Turkey from '84, guys. Get a good close up of that. Get my face out of the way. Yeah, I love this stuff, man. Nothing like a good older, dusty turkey. Gotta love it. So tonight, guys, not only are we, the start of the fall season is coming, or it's here, I should say. So what I really wanted to do is dive into some rye whiskeys, which is something I haven't been diving in too much as of late. And the timing is perfect because here in Ohio and also Pennsylvania, they just released two exclusive whiskeys and bourbons to that specific area, to those two states. The first one was an Old Overholt, 114 proof, which is a non-chill filtered 4-year straight rye whiskey. Definitely better than the standard that's on the shelf. And this, which just hit this week, which I'm really excited to try, which is an 11-year-old Old Overholt, this one comes in at 92.6 proof. Kind of a weird proof point, but this is 11 years old, Old Overholt, also non-chill filtered. There's a nice little close-up of the bottle. So we get that. There you go. Nice little wax stamp on the front. Very cool bottle. And also because, these are only available in Ohio and Pennsylvania, tonight I'll be giving away a bottle for somebody else. So I bought two of these. They're about $75-80 each. So any super chats tonight will get you a chance to win a bottle of this Old Overholt 11-year rye whiskey. Perfect for the fall. Well, we're going to see how it tastes. So we'll see how it goes. Golf Whiskey, Nassau Coliseum, MSG. Actually, no, it was Jones Beach. I saw Van Halen. Jones Beach, before Jones Beach became the Nikon Theater. That's where I saw Van Halen. Unfortunately, they were Sammy Hagar by then. It wasn't, or Van Hagar, I should say. It wasn't. David Lee Roth was kind of gone at that point, but yeah. Let's see. Funny that the 114 in that bottle won the 11 years in the OGD 114 bottle. Yeah, exactly. All right, let me see what you guys are saying in the chat here. Looks like an old granddad 114 bottle. Yeah, I mean, basically. Let me see here. Yeah, definitely looks a little bit like the OGD, doesn't it? Born in PA, made in Kentucky. That's the thing. So let's see here. What do we got going on in the chat? Let me say hi to some people who are coming in. Scottish Bourbon, great intro. Glad you liked it. Yeah, just a quick tribute. I really wanted to use, a good Van Halen song. But, the YouTube monetization police would have been all over my ass. Craig Failer says, Rye and Fall, two of my faves. Absolutely. Stanley Wagner says, Trev sent me. Welcome in, buddy. Nice to see you here. Trev sends everybody. Scotty, my bourbon journey's in the house. What's up? Let's see here. Amy Boehm says, oh, yeah, Trev sent me. Oh, welcome in, Amy. Thanks for coming in. Mark Zapata's here. Let's see. Destination Bourbon. Drinking a 1984 Wild Turkey as well. My brother, the Mash and Drum. Awesome, man. Destination Bourbon. If anyone has not subscribed to my buddy Primetime Michael Klein, please do so at Destination Bourbon. Bourbon Bites. Hey, what's up? There's Clifford. Everyone go subscribe to Bourbon Bites if you haven't already. Putting out some great content as well. Bubblebath Bourbon's in the house. What's up? Kelsey Dime, Master Drum Killer intro. Glad you liked it, Kelsey. Scotty is chanting Eddie Van Halen. All right. I am trying to Jason Coates or New Kids on the Block, probably. It was my third concert. Is that what you're saying? Yeah, no, buddy. Mike Cullerton's in the house. Richie Z. Jason Coates. Linux Cat. What's up, Donnie? Yeah, it does look like OGD 14. I agree. Ian Austria's in the house. 100% Pure Mustard is in the house. What's up, man? Greg Failer, have you tried the Rossville Union Barrel Proof Rye? Saw it at Chateau. Yes, I have, Greg, and it's freaking delicious. If you like MGP Rye. We got some super chats that came in. We got Tim Evans. He's in the running for tonight. Austin Scott, he says, losing EVH and Neil Peart in 2020. We need to keep an eye out. Les Claypool next. Don't even say that, man. Richie Z, he's in it for the win for the Old Overholt. We have Kevin Henderson's in the house. What's up? Go Bucks. What's up, Kevin? Nice to see you, man. Trev Wilson, dropping links like a good wrench would. Patrick Fulmer says, I saw Van Halen warm up for Styx a very long time ago in Birmingham. Holy crap. I can't say I ever saw Styx, but yeah, Van Halen I was lucky. Van Halen I got to see a couple times. Back then. I'll never forget I forgot the name of the song, but Sammy Hagar was playing this ballad. It's that point in a Van Halen concert where everyone starts doing the solos. So Eddie Van Halen just did his guitar solo. Then he goes off stage. Alex Van Halen's doing the drum solo while my freaking head is exploding. So I'm watching that. And then even Michael Anthony comes in with the bass, doing his solo, setting his bass on fire. Friggin' sick. And then while they're wrestling, all of a sudden Sammy Hagar comes out and he's trying to play like this song on the acoustic guitar. He's being all soulful and singing real slow. And then he's like, and he just completely hit the wrong note. And he's like, oh, fuck this mellow shit. He goes, guys, come back out here. And then they went into playing Dreams, which is one of my favorite songs that Van Halen did. It was a very unforgettable moment because I'm like, wait, rock stars fuck up? Okay, I guess that happens. It was a pretty epic moment. Eruption. Yeah, everyone getting... Yeah, Beam, exactly. What should we do with all these surplus OGD 114 bottles? Exactly. So, okay. So let's actually get into these Old Overholts. Let's get into some whiskey tonight. Before that, real quick, I did want to give a shout out to a couple of my new patrons that just came in for October. Let's see. We have Mike Henson. Thanks for becoming a patron, man. Shem Coward as well, Intense Drummers. Terrence Scott, Robert Kmetz, also both upgraded to Intense Drummers. That means they have a lovely Mash and Bourbon curved bourbon glass coming to them in about a month. Also, for you beginner drummers out there, I have finally finished my, it's kind of my fault because I'm kind of nitpicky with all these, the stuff that I give away on the channel, or I'm sorry, give away through Patreon. But I'm going to be crafting all of these for you guys. So all beginner drummers and all the tiers will be getting very soon their own Mash and Drum leather stamped coaster. Here it is. This thing is badass. Check this out, guys. Let it focus in. There it is. So it's a fully leather coaster for you guys to have for all your bourbon and whiskey drinking needs. So that's all for my patrons, guys. I ordered a shitload of them, so these will be available really soon. So coming soon to a Patreon near you. All right, so let's get into these Old Overholts. Again, Ohio, Pennsylvania exclusives. Let me actually pull up here some of the. Let's see if I could find any of the. Let's see some of the details on these. So the Old Overholt 114 proof. Again, 4 years old. It's only $30. For sale in Ohio and Pennsylvania only. 57% ABV, 114 proof. And then the Old Overholt 11-year-old, straight rye, 11 years old. This was $75. Again, available in Ohio and Pennsylvania only, unfortunately. But it was basically, this is the oldest Overholt ever to be released, apparently. This 11-year-old comes from just 50 barrels and is obviously extremely limited, which you would think with all the juice Beam has, it wouldn't be that limited, but I guess it's limited. Okay, Mash and Drum. Wait, I do need to keep track of super chats. I missed, my brain is scrambled from that insanity on my stream. Yeah, if you could, man, you could go back and grab some of those super chats. Winner tonight will be getting a bottle of this extremely rare Old Overholt 11-year. And on top of that, I'll throw in a little something else extra in there. Maybe a couple extra samples. I don't know what, but we'll figure it out. Maybe a little Old Carter Batch 5 for somebody too to taste, to get a little something of that. All right. So let's try these guys. We'll go into a couple news stories. I have some big turkey news. Speaking of wild turkey, coming out soon. So let's start with the 114 proofer, $30. Now, Old Overholt Rye, the regular on the shelfer, you know, for me, that has always been nothing more than a mixer. If you try to drink it straight, it's very thin on the palate. It's very watered down. There's not much going on. So even though this isn't much older, it's probably around the same age. This is non-chill filtered and a higher proof, so it'd be interesting to see what those differences are here. Let's see here. Catching up. We got Troy Christian, Whiskey Wednesday. Let's go. New Orleans in the house. What's up, Troy? New Orleans. Hey, Eric Evanson is here. What's up, man? Nice to see you. Lennox Cat, Kitty needs some new rye. Destination Burberry Halloween special. Hell yeah. Yeah, so a couple of programming notes, guys. So next week, on the live stream, I maybe have a special guest here live in the whiskey room. So just a little teaser for that. Somebody might be here live in the flesh. Should be a pretty epic live stream. That should be pretty fun. Then the following week, we're going to be doing I think we're going to have Whiskey in the Six and also Jeremy for Sipper Social Club on here. And then the following week after that, Destination Bourbon, me and Primetime Michael Klein will be on this channel. We're going to be doing, we're coming up with the logistics of it here. But Primetime Michael Klein and I, the week before the weekend of Halloween, we'll be doing a Halloween special. So maybe there'll be costumes involved. I don't know. We're going to work out the details. And then the following week after that, first week in November on Wednesday, Trev Wilson and I, the Wrench, and the Mash and Drum together. We're going to be doing a blind tasting set up by Jeffrey Wack. Maybe do like a crossover episode, go from his channel to mine. It's going to be fun, guys. So hopefully you tune in for that. We got some more, let's see, more super chats. Tammy Brennicky, Please add my name to the list. Jason, you rock. Thank you, Tammy. Stanley Wagner, where did you get the half head tray? Looking for some deco for the channel. I want to start. Stanley Wagner, go to ColumbusBarrelCompany.com. That's where I get all my stuff. Mr. Whiskey Shit's in the house. $5 super chat. Hey, Emily Chambers is here. How are you? And John Dickinson with the $5 super chat. Keith Schmidt says, I saw the Wild Turkey news and I'm excited, but I'll never see that bottle in the wild. Well, we're going to talk about that in a second. Jason, hey, man, looking for GTS any year. Where are they going for now? Also, are you in the New York Cincy Juice Club? I am not, Matt. I'm looking for GTS any year. I mean, I don't, I have 2 GTSs and they're both open, so I couldn't help you there, but it's about that time of year for the Ohio lottery. So Ohio is starting to do their bottle lotteries. They have some pretty epic bottles going in the lottery this year. The first round is a bunch of Old Fitz bottles, the Old Fitz 14, a couple of others that are pretty cool. They're going to be doing birthday bourbon. They're going to be doing King of Kentucky. They're going to be doing, what were some of the other? Oh, the OFC, the Double Eagle Very Rare, some like really expensive bottles, of course, to go along with the BTAC and the Pappy and all those. So Peter White says, I will need that rye, would settle for the 114. Well, there's plenty of 114 left, Peter. You want that? I know you're a rye guy. All right, Trev Wilson's caught up. Steely Dan with Keith Carlock on the drums, an amazing show. Got to see them while Walter Becker was still alive and well. Dude, that's awesome, Eric. That's one of those bands I never got to see, unfortunately. Brian Brennicky, the Great Pumpkin, Michael Klein on the Mash and Drum channel coming soon. Exactly. About to do. Hey, we got Whiskey Central in the house. What is up, Shayla? Everyone say hey to Shayla. Everyone go give her a subscribe. She's putting out some great content. We have a blind tasting at some point coming up very soon. We'll have to work out a date for that, Shayla. I know you're just starting to go live. JS, no Ohio lottery wins for me yet. Yeah, same here, man. I don't get any of them. I haven't won once yet. So maybe this year will be the turning corner here. Jason, see, I was too deeply sad about the death of Eddie Van Halen. My friend Doug introduced me to Van Halen, Run with the Devil way back in the day. Hell yeah, Guy Davis. All right. So the Old Overholt 114, not surprisingly, it actually smells like Jim Beam Bonded a little bit on the nose. It's very orange creamsicle. There's a slight pine note to it, a little bit. Definitely some black pepper here. I mean, it's a ton of citrus. I should have pulled the Old Grandad to compare it real quick. But just from memory, this is not very far off from Old Grandad. So if you can't get this, the Old Grandad, Old Grandad isn't a rye, but it's specifically a high rye bourbon. But, you know, it can, I don't know, the nose seems close. We'll see what it's like on the palate. Cheers, guys. Here we go. Oh, yeah, never mind. It doesn't taste like Old Grandad. Scratch that. Woo! So, yeah, the citrus on this is insane. So for any of you that likes like a pickle or a dill note on a rye, this does not have that. This is a Kentucky rye. This is very sweet. There is way more caramel in this than I thought there would be. Along to go with that citrus and that super orange note. You definitely feel that 114 proof. But the biggest difference on this, let me go for one more sip here. This thing's a little scary because it drinks easier than 114. This thing drinks like a 95 proofer. That thing is easy dangerous right there. I mean, it's very straightforward. There's not a lot of complexity to this, guys. It's very citrus, caramel, little vanillas there. There's definitely some black pepper, a little bit of heat. But the best upgrade for this bottle is the mouthfeel. Or as Dan from Bourbon Junkies would say, the mouth experience, as he puts it. Because it's not nearly as thin as regular Old Grandad is. Old Grandad I'm sorry, not Old Granddad, Old Overholt. The regular one is like drinking water. So this thing on the palate is way creamier. It's just amazing what non-chill filtration does to a whiskey. Let me get caught up here with you guys. Lindy Scott says pretty fly for a rye guy. Yeah, I like to think so. Hey, what's up, Mark Bond? How you doing, man? Edward Fulmer, Van Halen, or Fuggy Yamada? I say Fuggy Yamada to 2020. That's what I say. An old man theme tonight, Jason? Is it an old man theme? Maybe. I am old. I am 43, so I am getting up there in age. Mike M says, keep on rocking those drums and drinking that whiskey, Jason. Dude, I was playing Van Halen on the drums all day yesterday. Just breaking a sweat, playing Jump and Hot for the Teacher, and I was going crazy yesterday playing. My neighbors must have thought I was nuts. I feel bad. My neighbor here next door, they just had a baby. And even though they can't hear my drums completely, they know when I'm playing because they could actually feel, they say that they could feel the bass drum when I'm playing the double bass. They said that they could actually feel that in their house. They can't hear it as much as they like feel it. I'm like, oh, sorry. I'll try not to play too late at night. Cletus says, Coaster looks awesome. I can't wait to sit my Glencairn on it. Cheers to a great night. Thanks, Cletus, man. Awesome. Emily Chambers, citrus rye. Sign me up. Yeah, it's really citrusy. We got Kevin Henderson. So, Jason, it's not too hot for Yo Teacher? No, it's not. We got Sawyer Pham and Cincy. What's up, man? Thanks for coming in. Mr. Whiskey Shits, hit the like. Yes, everybody, please hit the like button. Yeah, and even as I go back to this, it's getting more and more orange, more and more orangey. This has got to be just like amazing in a Manhattan or an old fashioned, which means, which reminds me, we are going to be making some cocktails tonight, guys. I kind of did a makeshift bar in here. I'm going to be making 4 of my favorite fall cocktails that I love to make. I have the recipes online to show you guys. I put together some recipe slides for you so you guys can take screenshots or whatever you want to do to try to replicate these at home. They're amazing stuff. Some of them require a little bit of work, but I say one of them is pretty labor intensive while the other ones are pretty simple. And I didn't want to leave like a certain whiskey out, so we're going to be using some ryes. We're going to be using rye. We're going to be using a peated Scotch, and we're also going to be using Irish whiskey. So 2 ryes, 1 peated Scotch, and an Irish whiskey in these great fall cocktails tonight. So I've been toying with these a little bit, and I think they're just amazing for fall. I don't know what it is about fall that makes me want to make cocktails and just like sit outside and sip something. I don't know. I mean, as much as I like to drink whiskey neat, there's something about making a good cocktail in the fall that, especially a rye-based one, you just want something to keep you nice and warm. So, all right, let's go with the one I'm really excited to try is this 11-year Old Overholt. And here we go. Scott Palmer says, I had to go in electric kit. I could play in the middle of the night if I want. Yeah, I mean, that's the smart way to go. I could probably do that. Mash and Drum custom mash cocktails. Yeah, pretty much. Austin Scott, you are going to be hurting tonight. Maybe. We'll see. It should be okay. Eric Evanson. So this, the 114 proof is only $30. And this 11-year is about $70. So this was $70. Andrew Keller, Cooper's Craft, 100 proof. That's not even, just skip over the 82 Cooper's Craft. Just go right for the Cooper's Craft Barrel Reserve for $30. You will not be sorry. Only as old as you feel, man. Exactly. Bourbon Bite says he's got his jigger ready. Oh, okay. Guys making stuff. All right. John Digger said the old theme is good. I'm so old. I saw Keith Moon in 76. Oh, shit. Keith Moon. Actually, so since this is 11 years old, what I wanted to do is actually compare this to Kentucky Owl, which is 101.8 proof and also 11 years old. So let's do this real quick. So this is batch 2. I know batch 1 was kind of universally loved, America. But I have a batch 1 unopened, and I don't really want to open. There's a few bottles I have in my collection that I don't really want to open, and that's one of them. I finished a bottle of Kentucky batch 1, and then I bought another just to keep. But we'll go with the batch 2 and see how it goes. This was a lower proof anyway. Master and Drum, Old Overholt 114 or Rittenhouse? Ethan Turner, it's a good question. See, but for me, I think it depends on how much orange you like in your, or how much citrus you like in your rye. I feel like the 114 is way more citrus than the Rittenhouse. I think the Rittenhouse is way more like sweeter caramel type of a rye flavor. Very consistent with what you get from Heaven Hill. So like the Pikesville rye, and some of the other ryes that you get from Heaven Hill, I think are a little bit more in the caramel, vanilla, spice, almost like mint type characteristic. Whereas these beam ryes, to me, or high rye bourbons, are more on the citrus end of the spectrum. So I think it just depends what you like in cocktails. For me, I rather drink Heaven Hill stuff straight, while I love what a Beam high rye bourbon or the Old Overholt rye will do in a cocktail. So hope that so the 114 here, this Old Overholt is actually sorry, this is 92.6 proof. So it's, it's kind of on the low end, and it does smell that way. It's a little bit muted on the nose. But again, this is coming off a little bit sweeter. There's definitely some more rye spice here. Whereas the Kentucky Owl 11 years is definitely coming through with, you could definitely smell the proof on it. And there's way more of like a spearmint mint thing going on in the Kentucky Owl. Whereas this is a little sweeter. I think I'm picking up some of that Beam nuttiness too on here. A little chocolate. Oh man, it smells like a junior mint. A little chocolate, a little mintiness. That's right, get you. I'm all ready for Halloween. Got my candy out. Yeah, Sugar Kitty, exactly. Definitely getting a little bit of nuttiness in here too. Let's see, Destination Bourbon. What'd you say here? Watch for the Halloween show. Oh, sorry, that's all the way at the top here. There we go. Jason Coates, I like Rittenhouse as a budget sipper. I think I think I rather sip Rittenhouse neat than the Old Overholt. I think that'll work better in a little bit more cocktails. All right. Could definitely taste the age on it. There's way more oak influence. It's not nearly as sweet. Better balance in this one with that age. Man, I do wish this was a little bit of a higher proof. So second sip for me is, again, more of that citrus. But the citrus is combining with some of that that Beam nuttiness. A little bit of a, definitely get some more oak here. There's a slight hint of like a black licorice or star anise that I'm getting too on this as well. Definitely some caramel and some spice here, guys. It's pretty solid, actually. It's getting more, it's going back more towards the citrusy profile the more I sip it. But I like the balance of this a lot better. Obviously, it's a lot older than the 114. I wish this though was at 114. I think it would probably or at least 110. Probably kick some ass. Yeah, for $70, I don't know. I think it's definitely solid rye. It's a good sipper. I would sip on this, but this is one of those ryes where I would go through fast because it's more sweet than spice. The best thing about this is the finish. The finish on this is way longer than I thought it would be. There is a minty and peppery finish on this that is lasting, and it's still going. It's going on and on. The front of the palate, you get the sweetness, you get the orange, you get some of that licorice, you get a little bit of that citrus spice. There's almost like a honey tea thing going on too on it. It's a lot of flavors coming through here, I will say. So I thought the finish on this was going to be a lot weaker, but the finish is actually the best part of this bottle, hands down. The front of this is a little bit, it's not as lasting as I would want on a rye, but the finish is making up for it a little bit. Glasses up for Eddie. Thanks, Hank Butts. Yeah, this is like orange tea with honey, with black pepper dusted in it. Maybe drop a little bit of black licorice in it. Oh, man, the finish on this is the best part, easily. If you guys like a really nice finish on a rye whiskey, this kind of reminds me a little bit of the Wild Turkey Cornerstone, not in flavor-wise, but experience-wise. Whereas the Wild Turkey Cornerstone, for me, as interesting as it was on the palate, where it really shined was the finish. The finish on that Wild Turkey Cornerstone went on and on for days. Let's try. I haven't had this Kentucky Owl in a while. Let me compare it real quick here. Wow, coming off that, the Kentucky Owl is way more on the pine side, like the evergreen note that you get in a rye whiskey. A little more caramel, spice. Man. Yeah, it's night and day. It's not even in the same realm as flavor profile. The proof on this definitely lasts longer, but this is definitely a little bit more, what's the word? A little bit more layered and flavored here, whereas this is a little bit more straightforward, but the finish on this one makes up for it. So that would be my review on this one. I'm not going to do a full review of this because it's only available in 2 states, unfortunately. So I thought like doing a full review of that wouldn't really help out a lot of people. But if you are in Ohio or Pennsylvania or know anybody in those states, then and you're interested in those, reach out to them, because I think the 114 is actually, for $30, that thing's a hitter. I love it for that price. All right, let's see here. Yep, I'm buying a bottle. Love a long finish on a rye. There you go, Scotty. Mashanddrum, they miss an opportunity to put both 114s in the same style bottle instead of the 11-year. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Kelsey Dime, anyone else a fan of the Sagamore Cast Strength Rye? I am, Kelsey. Just like ADHD whiskey, I actually found blueberries in that rye whiskey. If you go back to my review when I reviewed it, I was like, I think I freaking smell blueberries in here. And yeah, that totally reminded me of ADHD whiskey when he was like starting to smell blueberry. I'm like, it's true. There are blueberries in certain whiskeys. Totally. So quick verdict here. 114 Old Overholt. Love that stuff. I think it's great for the price. The 11-year, a little bit disappointing on the palate, but the finish definitely makes up for it. That thing goes and goes and goes. And it's also a little bit better balanced. It's not overly sweet like the 114 is, but you're going to expect that with a 4-year rye. All right. Let's go here, guys. All right, let's go to a couple of news stories. Not much, but the one I did want to highlight for you guys is some turkey news, as I mentioned. I gave a little teaser. So this broke, was it yesterday or the day before, by Rarebird 101, David Jennings. If you guys haven't checked out his site, please do. I'm going to show you the label right now. Don't get too excited because this is going to be pretty rare, unfortunately, but here it is. the Russell's Reserve 2003 barrel proof. Now, remember a couple of years ago, they released the 2002, or last year, I should say. So this beast is going to be 16 years old. As you can see, the master distiller tasting notes on there, baking spices, plum, butterscotch, smoky caramel, and lingering oak notes. So this was the press release. So aged to perfection for a minimum of 16 years inside the distillery's Tyrone warehouses. It marks the very last of Russell's Reserve 107 barrel entry proof whiskey. So this is the last of the 107 entry proof whiskey that they have. Reminiscent of Wild Turkey releases from the mid 1980s to early 1990s. So Eddie had a eureka moment after tasting these one-of-a-kind barrels bursting with sweet baking spices, juicy stone fruits, and butterscotch flavors. So details. For the whiskey curious, the portfolio... Oh, that's... you guys know about the rye. You guys know about that. Okay, so approximately only 3,600 bottles of this will be available in the United States with select retailers at $250 per bottle. So $250 per bottle, guys, for that one. It's only, unfortunately, only 3,600 bottles of that one. But damn, if there was another bourbon out there that I would want to grab for 2020 before 2020 is over, that would be it. I don't know where these bottles will be going or where they're going to end up, but chances are they'll end up on secondary where assholes will charge out the ass for them. But hopefully there will be a few people out there, good people that will actually enjoy it and drink it and maybe even share some with others. Mike Franklin said, sweet mother of pearl. Exactly. That's what I said when I was like, oh my God. Yeah, at $250, I think that's, most people would be like, that's too much. I don't think that's too much. I think $250 is perfect for that. A 16-year-old whiskey from Wild Turkey, barrel proof, non-chill filtered, last of the 107 entry proof barrels that they had. Oh my God. That is a now, if you're not a turkey fan, you're probably like, I wouldn't spend $250 on that. But if you're a turkey nut like I am, hell yes. Sign me up. If anyone out there is watching that can find a bottle or sees one, doesn't want to pay $250, let me know. I'll take it off your hands. Have you tried any of the pinhook ryes? Yes, I have, Keith. And I got to say, a lot of people really like that stuff. I just haven't really found it to be anything great. I'm not really a big fan of the pinhook stuff. It's okay. I think the cast strength one I had was actually pretty good. Or was it the cast strength bourbon I had? I can't remember. That actually shows you the kind of impression to me because I have no freaking clue. If it was that everlasting, I would have definitely remembered it. I'll settle for the Russell Reserve 13, I guess. Well, yeah. Or if any of you guys got the Wild Turkey 17 year this year, the Bottle and Bond, that could be a good consolation. I was able to grab a couple of those. So that was good. So I have that. I have one halfway down. I got one in the bunker. So I was happy enough to have that one. So if I miss out on the 2003, then there it is. I'll buy that 16-year turkey if I could find it. Hell yeah, Jeffrey. I'm right there with you, man. Bourbon Bite says, would rather have Masters keep 17-year for 170. Yeah, that's a valid point. You have 1 year older, although it's less in proof. And it's but this is way more limited. There's probably not many of those barrels left to craft that specific bourbon for that release for Russell's. So I can see why that would up the price a little bit and also make it a little bit more rare. It's probably, and at 16 years old, those Tyrone warehouses, I'm sure those barrels were pretty, there wasn't a lot of whiskey in those barrels left. Can guarantee it. That's right. Turkey strong, Hank Butts. Mash and Drum, if only one store that has a shot at getting one or two of those, I'll ask. Yeah, I mean, I would love to get one of those. For those of you that, let me see here, all these special releases are academic to me. They might as well be movie props. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, and I was having this discussion. I don't know what you guys think about it, but you can let me know in the chat. I feel like each special release that's coming out year after year now, it's getting to the point where it's almost, I mean, you just kind of like it's nice to see them, but you almost just throw your hands up in the air and say, "Oh, that's great." And usually the 6 words that follow are, "I'll never see a bottle." You know, that's unfortunately the whiskey world that we're living in now. You know, all these special releases that come out, they don't nearly make enough for everyone to get. 2, a lot of the bourbon store owners, you know, that do get them, they will forego putting them on their shelves and making it available and put them on secondary where they sell for a lot more money. You know, then you have the fact where, you know, it's, you know, the pricing. So you have those 3 things in the way usually when you're talking about these limited releases. It's becoming a little bit exhaustive. You know, it's just exhausting when you think about all these releases that come out each, and it's getting more and more. I mean, there's no end in sight here. We saw, I think last year, there was over 100 special releases, limited releases that came out from all the vast distilleries. I'm curious of the number for this year, for 2020. I think it's just going up and up and up. And there's no sign of it. There's no sign of it stopping. It's one of those things where it's like, and you know, for me as a reviewer, it can be frustrating because as much as I love reviewing these bottles or trying to find them, I feel like once I get my hands on a bottle that's either a special release or allocated, or oh my God, I got my hands on this one. No, then there's 2 other announcements for 2 more special releases. And I'm like, oh Jesus, when am I gonna be able to even get that? So stuff like that happens. It's exhausting and it's really hard to keep up with these days. Let's see. Jeffrey Yankovic says, I'm over Buffalo Trace. It's ridiculous. A lot of people are. They're clearly not for me. Why even care? Says Jason Coates. They are great press releases. Yes, they are. They really know how to do a press release. Jeffrey Noller says, at this point, if I know it's allocated, I don't hold my breath. I focus on what I know I could find. Yeah. And just for else, I says, I hope if a reseller buys it, the bottle breaks on its way to the car and he loses money. Whiskey is worth sacrificing to screw over a reseller. Yeah, I would agree, man. Scott, that's the frustrating part about the whiskey world. I agree. Jeffrey Yankovic says, some owners I know drink them. Well, that's a good thing. I mean, if they're drinking them, that's good. Kilko says, the Master Drum, I remind myself that whiskey is a luxury item and I enjoy the cheaper bottles I can find. I also am poor. So, well, yeah, I mean, listen, everybody has a budget for what they're going to spend, not just on whiskey, but just on anything. So it makes a big difference when you're kind of going through that. LE season is tough on whiskey tubers' wallets. Here's a few bucks for your next one. Thanks, Clifford. You didn't have to do that, man. Austin Scott, many of them aren't worth the cost even at retail. Yeah, I mean, we were talking about the Kentucky Owl last week, that one that they put up for $1,000. I will say when I went back to it, it's much better on its own. On its own, the Kentucky Owl dry state, you know, it was definitely more complex and definitely had some layers to it on the finish. That was probably the most impressive part. But, man, you put that thing in the blind tasting like I did this week, and it just shrinks. It just can't stand up to some of the other stuff that was available. I mean, I picked Rare Breed over it, for goodness sake. So, anyone ever try a Rye? If you see the single barrel picks, grab it. Can't say I've seen that one. Hey, William Davilar's in the house. What's up, man? He says hunting bourbon used to be a lot more fun. Heading back to Scotch, about the same price anymore. Yeah, that's true. And that's actually that's kind of a common trend I'm seeing as well, as people are getting, it's not that people are quitting to buy bourbon, but people that are sick of hunting these allocated releases are moving on to Scotch because they can get more for their money. They can get an older Scotch, an older whiskey for the price that some of these bourbons are coming out for, which I thought was an interesting contrast to, you know, when you're talking about the world of whiskey in general, because that can happen. I mean, you have people that want to spend the money on bourbons, but the bourbon game has gotten so out of control with the resellers and the secondary markets. What guys are charging for this stuff is just unreal. I'm still seeing birthday bourbon on secondary for between $600 and $800. I mean, my God, it's not even, the birthday bourbon was very good this year. It's unique, but I've had way better bourbons this year that are a lot cheaper and a lot more available. But everyone wants to pay for the uniqueness or the rarity of it. There's a question between rarity and what's available. People want to pay for rarity, and people want to pay for the for the big dick club. I have a bigger dick club than you because I have this bottle. It's on my shelf. I'm not going to open it, but this is what I have and you don't. I think a lot of whiskey has become that as well, unfortunately. So I'm going to move this, get off my soapbox a little bit, and we're going to make some cocktails. Let's see here. Van Halen. Let's see. Old Farmer's birthday bourbon ain't worth it. The $179 I paid at the distillery, it's good, but not that good. Yeah, see, I'm glad you agree, Austin. I thought it was a very solid release. I thought it was unique in its own way. But like I said, I've had much better whiskeys this year, much better bourbons that are Sam Houston, 14-year. That's a great example. $130. I know it's not universally available everywhere, but I mean, that thing for the price for 120, 130 at 14 years old, that thing was a hitter. Hey, Scary Peepers in the house says, sometimes I get caught up in the hype, but love when I stumble onto relatively easy to find gems. For example, SE4, so good and somewhat findable. There you go. William Davlar, you can get some incredible bottles of scotch for $150. Yeah, from $150 to $200. I absolutely agree, William. Totally. Love when Angry Jason comes out. Thanks, Trev. So speaking of scotch, a couple of more quick news notes, guys. For those of you that are fans of Highland Park, Highland Park is actually releasing, let me unclick Trev's thing here. Highland Park is releasing a cask strength series coming up soon, which I thought was really interesting. So this is Highland Park Cask Strength Edition #1. This is going to be available globally right now as of 2020 with an MSRP of $90. So this is the first of an expected series from the Orkney Island Distillery. Master whiskey maker Gordon Motion selected and then married the casks for this batch, which included single malts of various ages. The casks features in this batch predominantly American oak sherry seasoned casks. So kind of exciting for you guys that love Highland Park. And lastly, we have another Orphan Barrel scotch coming out. So here's Orphan Barrel right here. They're coming up with one called Muckety Muck. So Muckety Muck. So just like the last one that they did. So this is a single grain 24-year-old release. So it's 24-year-old single grain whiskey. This was distilled at the Port Dundas Distillery from, they were around from 1810 to 2010, aged for 24 years before bottling. So during the distillery's most successful periods, it had a piggery on site, and the draft left over from the mashing process was fed to the pigs, just like they do a lot here, just like a lot they do in Kentucky, where the mash is actually given to cows and pigs to eat, to give them more flavor. So the pig on the bottle is named Muckety Muck, which is a prize-winning pig that had the breeders keen to use him in their endeavors. There are 6 variations of the bottle label with the color of the sash worn by Muckety Muck featured in red, green, blue, gray, yellow, or orange. Limited release edition will be $225. So that is the Muckety Muck from Orphan Barrel. Again, that's a Diageo brand that works on creating all these, they find these lost barrels of, lost distilleries that close, and they come out with these special releases, much like the Rhetoric, the Lost Prophet, all those famous bottles that you see that are usually going for $200 and above, unfortunately. Entrapment, Barterhouse, all those whiskeys. So let's see here. Another one to sit on the shelf, price way too high. Let's see, 100%. Oh, missed that one. Well, that's not too bad, just sitting down from work myself. Oh, that's okay. At the Mash and Drum, what the Wild Turkey 101 on table? What the one? Oh, this is a Wild Turkey from 1984. I had this tonight to kick off the live stream in honor of Eddie Van Halen. With their famous album 1984. Sugar Kitty says HP22 is amazing. You can hear the peat, taste the bees, and touch the breeze of the barley in every bottle. Well, if that's not a marketing line, you better send that into Highland Park today. Love some really old single grain scotch. Okay. Andrew Kelly said, saw that muckety muck today, 250, stared at it for a few minutes before leaving. And so Aaron has actually a good point. There's not many single grains with that type of age on it. So for that, I think it's a little bit, that's pretty unique. You see a lot of Irish whiskeys that are single grain that can get up in age. I don't know, Donald Rance, I'll refer to him. My Irish Whiskey Yoda, if there's any single grain Irish whiskeys that are that high, about 24, 25 years. First time I've heard it called a piggery. Yeah, I had no idea of that either. Jeffrey Wack, what is your opinion on Orphan Barrel Scotch releases? Well, the last one they did, which was the Forager's Keep, was from the Pittyveitch distillery that had closed. But there are a few distilleries and a few independent bottlers releasing stuff from Pittyveitch. Forager's Keep or Orphan Barrel was one of them. I actually heard a lot of good things about the Forager's Keep. I can't say I had it myself. Again, that was about $250 for that bottle. It was an over 20-year-old Scotch from Pittyveitch. If anyone in the chat has had it, please let me know in the chat. Let me know what you thought of it. I did see it here in Columbus. They had it for a while sitting on the shelf. Eventually, they sold, but they were there for a while. Jason Coates says, way more reasonable than the $450 they wanted for last year's Pittyveitch. Yeah. Was it $450? Oh, I think it was $400 actually. Now that you say that, Jason, yeah, I think you're right. Tom Flanagan, Irish whiskey over Scotch, in my opinion. There you go. Jason Coe says $250 isn't an awful price for a mid-aged grain like that. Okay. Yeah, did anyone have the Forager's Keep from last year? I'm just curious. All right, let me pull out my next stuff to start making some cocktails here, guys. So, what's going to be the first one? So, first cocktail tonight we're going to make, guys, is this is going to be my starter one for you guys, and this is kind of a quick take, different type of old fashioned that I like to make, and this one is called the Port Old Fashioned. So this is 2 ounces of rye whiskey. Actually has 20 port whiskey in it. Bar spoon, some maple syrup, some bitters, and some orange peel, which we're going to make now. So actually, you guys take a look at that if you want to take a quick picture of that. I got to run up and get some of my ice that I left upstairs. I'll be right back. And we're back. All right. All right. So let me go back to the chat here. All right. Don't fall. Exactly. All right. So let me get some mixer here. So like I said, I kind of made a makeshift little bar here for tonight to kind of make some drinks for you guys. So as I showed you guys, so let me grab. I have to actually remember the recipe myself here. So 2 ounces rye whiskey. So for this, I figured I'd use, let's see what rye I want to put in here. You know what, guys? Let's go with the let's try it with the Old Overholt. See how it comes out. The 114. See how that goes. But I don't have any blasted rye. You don't have any rye whiskey, man? Come on. You got to have some rye whiskey. All right, so this is 2 ounces of some rye whiskey. So we're going to use this first here. All right, we'll do that. Then we need to do the tawny port. So I have some port wine that I got right here. So only a ½ ounce of this. So they say in the recipe to use like a 10-year-old tawny port, but you know, I don't think you have to go that old in it. So this is, let's see, this is 1 ounce, so we need a ½ ounce here. The tawny port. Real scientific measurements here, guys. Scientific measurements. But I do love making this drink. This is probably the reason why I go through a lot of tawny port, is because of this drink, actually. Jason Busey's in the house. Is what I'd miss. Put the tent up in the backyard for the kiddo. What's up, Jason? Nice to see you, man. BDC's in the house. Let's see. Actually, that's a good question, Logan. What's everyone's favorite rye right now? What's their favorite rye they're sipping on when it comes to, you know, the fall season? What's kind of your, if you guys, so give me in the chat, give me your 2 ryes, one that you sip on, it's kind of an everyday sipper rye that you always like to have on hand, and a special rye that you only go to maybe every now and again. Drop your things in the chat here while I make this cocktail here for you guys. Here we go. So maple syrup and then some Angostura bitters. So the maple syrup part in this is actually the key. The maple syrup part is what really makes it stand out. Yeah, it is on the sweeter, but when you mix the sweet and the rye together, it actually makes a really incredible drink. So normally you do about a teaspoon or a tablespoon. I don't like to put too much of the maple syrup in it. I don't like it overly sweet, but I do like to taste it in there. So it's not too much. And then we're going to grab some bitters here. So I have some great Angostura bitters from Woodford Reserve. Oh no, that's orange bitters. There's the Angosturas. Here we go. So let's drop in a couple of these bitters here. Just about a couple little squirts. And then we shake it up for a little bit. I'll try not to be too loud here. So I have some nice ice balls here, which I like to use in drinks. Keeps it nice and cold. Let's give it a pour. So it actually has a nice, you know, fall color. Kind of comes out a nice like orange. There we go. And then for the little grand finale here, what I like to do is take some orange peels. So I like to take a longer orange peel for this one. And what I actually like to do is toast it a little bit. So I have my torch. There might be a fire tonight, guys. If so, just get ready to call 911. And you guys in Columbus, you know, just be on the lookout. So what you want to do is what I like to do is kind of cut these little almost orange coins. You know, you kind of take the knife and you just kind of turn the orange, make a nice little round little medallion of orange here. And what I like to do is just kind of toast it to get the oils going. It just gives it another, you know, depth to the cocktail here. So what you want to do is just kind of toast a little bit, get those oils out. You don't want to over flame it. You don't want to char the damn thing. There you go. Then you want to kind of toss that right in the drink there. And there you go. You got yourself a port old fashioned. Give it a guys. Let's give it a try, guys. Cheers. Oh, it's so nice. So if you guys like something with some sweet, dude, the Old Forester 114, that shit's good in there. I think the orange and that citrusy note really works well with that. Balances the maple syrup, the port wine. That shit's good. You guys got to make that one. That one's, relatively inexpensive. Port wine isn't expensive to get, especially tawny port. Let me get some cocktails here. Let's see. Let me go back in the chat and find out what you guys are sipping on here. So we have OGD 114. Oh wait, Old Forester. Old Forester Rye, Wild Turkey Rare Breed Rye. Those are great choices, Mike. Definitely. Ashhead TV says I need to be recommended a good rye. All right, well, there's plenty of good ryes out there. Rare RB Rye is a daily. Is that Rare Breed Rye, Austin? Cornerstone or Parker's Heavy Char for special days. Donald Rant says lot 40 for the daily sipper, and the Alberta Premium Cask Strength is the special rye. Look at Donald Rant's going for the Murray Whiskey of the Year. Brian Brennicky, Pikesville and Parker's Heavy Char. Again, really good. Everyday Old Forester Special Kentucky Owl. I like that, Tito. That actually really works. Still Living in the Woods says Wilderness Trail Single Barrel Rye. Definitely like that one. Russell's Reserve 6 years and Everyday. Okay. Redemption and Pikesville. Okay. Rossville Union Sipper Mastersons for special occasions. Have I had Mastersons? William Dalvar, Old Forester Rye and Midwinter's Night's Dram. Okay. I see where you go with that one. Willard 4-year, lot 40 Cask Strength, Rodislav's Traps. Man, Cornerstone Rye. Okay. Old Forester Rittenhouse. That's simple. Okay. So, I mean, you guys are putting out some real hitters here. Tammy Brennicky, Pikesville, Woodinville Rye every day, and then the handy for her special. Tammy getting a handy. Edward Fulmer says Mash and Drum Smooth Ambler Single Barrel Cask Strength Rye. Oh, hell yeah. Patrick Fulmer, Pikesville, Old Forester. Edward Fulmer, Smooth Ambler. Aaron says ordered a Midwinter's Night's Dram. Looking forward to that. You know what? I really like Midwinter's Night's Dram. They just haven't been as good since they've been putting their own juice in it. I mean, the other ones were so rich, the older versions. I know they can't do MGP forever, but the older Midwinter's Night's Drams are just incredible. Have another sip of this. It does, you know what? The maple syrup and the port just gives like this Thanksgiving Day punch like type note to it. But then you get the spice and you're like, oh shit, yeah, that's not sweet. It's got a nice spice to it. I would highly recommend, guys, if you make that cocktail, use a higher proof spicy rye to offset the sweetness with that one. This one actually worked pretty good. I would probably still use something a little bit of a more spicy. I'd probably use like a Rossville Union, the barrel proof, which has a really nice spice to it, or even the Wild Turkey 101 rye, which has a really nice spice to it. So, I mean, there's a lot of them out there, but you kind of have to play around with the recipe and go with what you like. But the maple syrup and everything in this gives it just a really nice, you know, there's just something to it that just gives it a really nice round tasting to it. Old Forester, Pikesville. Man, a lot of you guys really like the Old Forester and Pikesville combination. Here's something different. Brent Marquette says Jack Daniel's Single Barrel Rye for every day and Michter's Toasted for special occasions. There you go. Jack Daniel's Rye, very underrated, I would have to say. Very underrated. I would give away my Wilderness Trail Rye. Took half a sip and no thank you. Wow, you weren't a fan of the Wilderness Trail. I love their rye, actually. I think for a younger rye, it's pretty damn good. Chattanooga 99 rye is pretty impressive. I've heard that about Chattanooga. William Dallar says Midwinter's Night's Dram has changed dramatically in the newer bottlings. Yeah, man, I agree. Kilco says, I got a sample of it at Irene's place, and I know full well I cannot afford that bottle. Yeah, but I mean, if you've had the older bottles, like the Act 1, 2, 3, before they switch to their own stuff, man, yeah, dramatic dip in just flavor capacity. flavor capacity. Is that a thing? All right. I'll have to finish that later. All right, we're going to make our next one here, guys. And these are going to get interesting. These are going to get a little bit more interesting as we go here. Okay, that's that one. Let me get some water in here. All right, so gonna get some fresh ice. All right, next cocktail up, guys, that I love to make for fall is Greg. Anyone recommend the new Riff Rye? The single barrel ryes are really good, Greg. But I will say with the the ryes are actually more. The ryes tend to be a little bit more consistent. These single barrel bourbons for New Riff, everyone likes to like go crazy for New Riff, how amazing they are. There's not enough consistency in their bourbons for me that make me like go, oh my God, they're the best distillery on the planet. Or the best new distillery on the planet. Because I've had some real stinkers from New Riff with stuff that just tastes really bitter, really green, really young. You know, so I was with, I think I mentioned this on the channel once before. I did a tasting recently. I was down in Kentucky at Party Source, and New Riff is right next to there. And I was with Dustin, my buddy Dustin, and also Bobby from I Whiskey She Wines. And we did a sample flight of a couple ryes, a couple bourbons. And we all were saying the same thing. You can have a really good New Riff single barrel that's pretty spot on. But then, I don't know, it seems like to me about a little less than half the time, I get one that just tastes just funky and weird, and I hate it. I feel like if you're going to be the top new distillery on the planet, you have to be more consistent than that. That's just my opinion, though. Have you tried the Old Scout Smooth Ambler 4-year rye? Not yet. Not yet. Rye Guy says Old Carter is way better than Kentucky Owl. I would actually probably agree with that. I think the Old Carters are just more my flavor profile when it comes to ryes. J Star says New Riff single barrel was like drinking dishwater, worst sip I ever had. So that's the thing. You can have one that's really nasty, but then you find a gem, with those single barrels. It just depends on what you get. I've had people that send me their single barrels to try. They're like, oh, you got to try the single barrel. It's amazing. And I take a sip. I'm like, what the fuck are they tasting? So, all right, let's go to the next cocktail. And now we're going to make, which one am I going to make next? We're gonna do this one, which is one of my favorites, the Black Walnut Old Fashioned. So I'll give you guys some time to kind of look that recipe over. So we're gonna go with rye whiskey for this one again. This is 3 ounces of your favorite rye. We have some Montenegro Amaro. We have orange juice, some black walnut bitters, and some cherry bitters. This is one of my favorite cocktails I make in the fall. It's basically fall in the glass. You guys can take a look at that. I'm going to grab a rye. I'll let you guys choose the rye, what you want me to put in there. You know what? I'll get the rest of the stuff while you guys are looking at that. Let me get the Montenegro here, which is the Amaro. Well, let me, so half ounce, and 3 ounces. Okay, I can remember that. So Black Walnut Old Fashioned. So this is the Amaro Montenegro. So that's what this is, about $30 for this bottle. Does a lot to different cocktails. It's a botanical liqueur. So it does add a lot of depth of flavor to your cocktails. So this is a half ounce of this. So let me toss that in there. Okay, then we need a half ounce of orange juice, which I brought down. So get some OJ in there. All right, then we need some black walnut bitters, which are the best bitters in the world. I love these things. A couple dashes of that. And then we're going to go with some cherry bitters here. And You can go with straight up cherry bitters, but if you guys haven't tried the Woodford Reserve spiced cherry bitters, highly recommend it, and it's perfect for this drink, for this cocktail. It just makes an unbelievable cocktail. I like a little bit more black walnut than cherry. This stuff's pretty strong. So let me take a poll here. What rye whiskey do you think I should try with this, guys? Gotta roll, folks. Cheers, Ethan Turk. Nice to see you, man. I will post the recipes on Patreon, definitely. Run Rev says the black walnut bitters are the bomb. I love Fee Brothers. Absolutely. Jason, we will screenshot your recipes. There you go. Oh, that's actually a good one. High West Double Rye for 27 bucks. That's actually, that High West Rye is actually a good call out. That Double Rye is delicious. That's a really good call out, actually. I always forget about that one. Uncle Buck, have you had the Peerless Rye Single Barrel and Absinthe? Wow, it's a lot of black licorice. Yeah, that's exactly why I didn't buy it. I'm very sensitive to black licorice and I hate it. So that was a huge, I was like, yeah, no thanks. Rare Breed Rye, Woodford, Wild Turkey 101. Yeah, I'm not putting Old Carter in there, man. Actually, yeah, let me try. I'll do the Wild Turkey Rare Breed. I'll see how that goes. We'll do 2 ounces of the Rare Breed. Boom. Actually, let me just make sure. I think was it 2 or 3 ounces? Let me just double check here for the black walnut. Yeah, 3 ounces. So let me do 1 more ounce here. This is a very rye forward cocktail because of the 3 ounce, factor in there. But the black walnut and the cherry bitters together with the Amaro really bring, you don't need a lot of it. It really brings a lot to the table with what you're getting in the cocktail. And then I think I got everything in there. All right, let's shake it up. So I like to shake these up pretty long to get a really nice pour in here. Get my next glass. All right, so what we're going to do here, guys, is we're going to, I'm a hardworking bartender, guys. Tip your bartender. Always tip your bartenders. Let me get another. Actually, you know what? I'm going to use this one for this one. You guys ready to see this shit? This is a Star Wars Stormtrooper ice mold, which is freaking amazing. Love this shit. It actually comes out really good. So let me get this out of the mold here. Man, this one doesn't want to come out tonight. Oh, there we go. Okay. Yeah, man, look at this. It's a perfect little, I don't know if that'll focus in on the ice cube here. Yeah, you see, there's my, there he is, the Stormtrooper. So the Stormtrooper is going to have a nice black walnut old fashioned here. Woo! Long pour. And then, of course, you always have to finish it with a little bit of garnish here. So what I like to do is take the orange peel. I actually like to wrap it around. Like to wrap it around a spoon or even a chopstick is actually a good tip. So you wrap it around, you get a nice little coil around it. You kind of give it a good grip, and you let it sit, and then you got a nice little coiled orange peel there, just like that. All right. Cheers, guys. This is the black walnut old fashioned, which is just amazing stuff. Oh my God, guys. With the Rare Breed Rye, holy shit, that's good. That's delicious. Man, just enough orange. Man, that is definitely like fall in the glass right there. Shit. It almost like feels like there's like some kind of like spiced punch in there, but there's not. That's really incredible. AKA funny condom. Exactly, Uncle Buck. Yeah. Jason, you can only get one for this season. Would it be a BTAC? Which one? Pappy, which one? Or Old Forester birthday bourbon? Good question. So one, I would not go for the birthday bourbon. I would skip that one. Yeah, it'd be nice to own one, but obviously if I win a chance to buy it, I'll buy it because it's at retail. But I wouldn't I wouldn't want to go for that one in particular. All right, so for the Pappy, I would probably want a 15 because I do love the Pappy 15. I think it's probably the best one. Although I have had some good 20s. Some of the 20 years, the 23s sometimes have been good. They're really hit and miss, though. The 15 seems to be the most consistent for the ones that I've tried. If it's the old Rip Van, old Rip Van Winkle, the 10-year, that one's okay. That's a pretty solid bourbon at retail. For $450, fuck you. I'm not buying that shit. But at retail, that's actually a very solid bourbon. The 12-year Van Winkle Reserve, the 90 proofer, no way. I don't even want that bottle. Get it away from me. Guys act like that's God's gift to whiskey, and it's bullshit. There's no way. It's a 12 years old, 90. It's Weller 12. It's Weller 12, but I don't know. Just in a more fancy bottle. Screw you. No way. I don't want that one. Pappy 15 or Pappy 20 would be my selections for that. BTAC, I always want the William LaRue Weller. That's always my number one. I'm actually very curious about the George T. Stagg this year, though, because it's back to 130 proof. So we've been getting lower in the proofs the last couple years. It's nice to see it back at that 130 area. And, Eagle Rare 17 is always up there. I would probably skip the Handy again this year. I have, a Handy up there. It's always funny to say. I like it, but I wouldn't go out of my way to get another one. The Sazerac 18s have been really good as well. I heard those ones this year is really good, but, that would probably be my order. William LaRue Weller. Actually, probably Eagle Rare 17 would be my number one if I think about it, because I've never owned one of those, and I very rarely have even seen a bottle of one of those in the flesh, and it's actually 18 years old this year rather than 17. 17 is the age on the label, but it's actually an 18-year-old bourbon that's in that bottle this year. So yeah, probably be Eagle Rare 17, William LaRue Weller, and then Stagg in that order. What about the Luxardo cherries in it? Manhattans need cherries. Yeah, I do like cherries in it, but I wasn't going to add a whole cherry component. I didn't want to waste cherries because I was going to be making them and then just sipping them quickly for you guys. I'll eat all the cherries later. Edward Fulmer says Old Carter Batch 5. Yeah, I mean, for sure. If I don't get any BTAC this year, that's a nice consolation. I would love to find my third bottle of Old Carter Batch 5. If I see it, I'm getting it. The ER 17 this year. Yeah, that's what I just said. Yeah, William. Yep, it's an 18-year this year. Master Jim, you've ever had Wheel Horse Rye? Can't say I have, Brian, unfortunately. Yeah, I heard the Handy's supposed to be good. Yeah, Breaking Bourbon did give it some high praise. So, and I do trust those guys. They have good palates. There's one guy on there, and I never remember his name, that really lines up with my palate. Usually the stuff that he likes, I like. So I'll have to check that out. Okay, next cocktail. First, let's clean this out. We got two more, guys. Okay. All right, so this one is one of my favorites, and it's called let me go here. This one is called the Drunk Uncle. And here it is, the Drunk Uncle. And this is how you make it. I said we were going to go with some scotch in this drink. This is Ardbeg, vermouth, Amaro, and some orange twist. So this is what we're going to make now. You guys want to screenshot that real quick? There you go. Yeah, this one is one of my favorites, especially if you like peated scotch. It's smoky, but it's sweet. It's got Just some really, really great flavors to it. This is perfect for a fall night, especially if it's getting cold outside. The smokiness to it just really works well with the sweetness. It's awesome. Danny's Candy's got a couple of bottles of Little Carter's Batch 6. So Wildlife and Whiskey. Hey, thank you so much, man. Peated Scotch cocktail. Yes. So let me tell you a little bit about the Old Carter Batch 6, because a lot of people are jumping on that now because of how good 5 was. I'll tell you, Old Carter Batch 6 is a is Tennessee whiskey. It's Dickel. So if you guys don't like Dickel, then I probably wouldn't go for that one. I could tell you, Scott from my bourbon journey, who was in the chat, he got a chance to taste the Batch 6 already. And although he said it was okay, it wasn't nearly as good as Batch 5. So don't go into Batch 6 thinking it's going to be like Batch 5. That's just not the case. The new release, however, which is Old Carter released a Kentucky whiskey, which they did release on Instagram today, if you guys want to read the details for that one. That one I heard is pretty special. So if you're between those two bottles, you see them in the store, I would probably skip the Batch 6. And I would go to grab that Kentucky whiskey. Hey, Brazo's in the house. What's up, Brazzers? Drunk Uncle, this is my drink. That's right, Uncle Buck. This is dedicated to you, buddy. Hey, Run Rev Collins is in the house, buddy. I thought you were ducking out because of the lady. Richie Z says go for Old Carter Batch 5. Yeah. So, all right, let me take this off here. I think I have the, let's see, a half, 1.5, 3/4, 3/4. Got it. All right. So we're going to go for 3/4 of an ounce of the Amaro here. All right. Now, the one twist I did to this recipe, which I liked better, and I'll tell you, it calls for a peated Scotch. So I actually tried this with a few different ones. I did Lafroig. I used a regular Ardbeg 10. And then I forgot about this little gem right here, guys. The Ardbeg Wee Beastie. Right here, this guy. This 5-year monster of a dram that's done in sherry casks. Scotland. So this one in this cocktail actually works really well. So this one is, I got to go 1.5 ounce for this one. Okay. So the sherry on this one, a little bit of a sherry note and the punch of that young peated Scotch in here really gives us a nice punch of flavor. And then I need the, let's see. Here's my vermouth here. Actually, where is my vermouth? Did I bring my vermouth down? Is it over here? I think I forgot my vermouth. Damn it. Shit. I don't have any sweet vermouth. You know what? Fuck it. Just gonna add a little bit of this. All right. Let me go to the comments here. Let's grab another glass here. This is one of my favorite glasses. It says here, I don't know if it'll focus in on this one. Nothing a bit of whiskey can't fix. Love this glass. All right, we have another. We're just going to put this one on the rocks because I'm going to save my last glass for the last cocktail we're going to make, which is a little bit more involved, but totally worth it if you get a chance to try it. And this, I like to also smoke an orange peel for this one because it just works really well in the cocktail. You go smoke, a little bit of smoke. You get those orange oils in here. Smoke this a little bit. Oh man, really just brings out the oils in the orange peel. Friggin' amazing. Cheers, guys. If you guys want something smoky, I mean, this is definitely the cocktail to go with. The Drunk Uncle. Smoky scotch, some sweet vermouth, a little bit of that smoked orange peel. It's amazing stuff. A little bit of Amaro adds a little bit of a floral character to it. Really balances it out nicely. It's really good stuff. Can I send you a whiskey sample to review? 291 Bad Buy Bourbon. It was almost $100 for a bottle, and I hate it. Wondering if it's just me. Sure. You can email me at themashanddrum@gmail. Let's see here. Anyone tried the Glenmorangie cake? That's actually a good question. And I think somebody reviewed that. Was it the Whiskey Dick? Did he review that one? He might have reviewed that. All right, so last cocktail of the night, guys, and probably my favorite of tonight. Probably my first. I mean, the black walnut is second, is probably close too, but the black walnut old fashioned. So let's set up my last glass here. This is my Old Forester glass. I'm going to make it in this one. Let's get my last ice ball here. Throw it in there. So this one is probably the one that I've been making the most in this fall. Or I started making it last fall. It was really good. Let's add a little more ice to that one. So this one is called the Late Harvest. So now there are some components in this one that are a little bit different. So you can see here on the list of ingredients, cranberry syrup. The recipe is actually in the description of the video, and allspice dram, which is also to make there is one that you can buy, but there's also you can make it yourself, which is actually not that difficult if you're into making these type of cocktails. The recipe is also below in the description. So the Late Harvest, this is as fall as it gets, guys. So cranberry syrup, I'll explain it to you, but this one says 2-ounce Sazerac rye or other rye whiskey. But I thought that this worked really amazingly well with this cast strength Irish whiskey from the Whistler. Because, get ready, hashtag butter pecan. This thing has such a beautiful butter pecan note to it that goes amazing with those flavors. I fell in love with it. So I'll give you a quick look at that one again. So 2 ounces of, you can use a rye if you want. I do love it with Irish whiskey. Then you have cranberry syrup and allspice dram, which I'll kind of get into what that is. But this is just a phenomenal, phenomenal recipe. So this is 2 ounces of the Whistler. So this is a cast strength Irish whiskey, which really gives it that really nice butter pecan flavor, the butter pecan. Now I'm going to tell you now when it comes to cranberry syrup, I have some right here, which I made today. Now, this is really simple to make, guys. It's basically cranberry juice and turbinado sugar. Turbinado is the darker sugar, the one that's a little bit more on the darker side. It's not brown sugar, but it's not white sugar either. It's more of a raw sugar, and it keeps some of those darker components in it before it's, before it goes through the process that makes it that pure white sugar. So there's a little bit more character to it. You basically put that together, equal parts in a blender, and you turn the blender on for a good 3-4 minutes until it dissolves. Put it in the refrigerator, and you have yourself some really delicious cranberry syrup. So I'm going to pour, this is a 1/2 ounce of this. You don't want to do too much of that stuff. It is pretty potent. So 1/2 ounce of that. And then next up is this stuff, which is called Allspice Dram. Now, Allspice Dram is basically just basically what it sounds like. It's allspice that has been seeping in rum. So you pick a light rum, and you have the allspice seep in it for a good 3 or 4 days. And then what you do is you add that to a melted pot, which has brown sugar and water in there. Once that cooks down and all the sugar dissolves, the brown sugar, you add that to the allspice, the seeping mixture. The seeping mixture with the allspice and the rum, and then you let that sit in the refrigerator. So this has been sitting for a while. This stuff, I mean, what it does to a drink is incredible. Here we go. So you do a ½ ounce of this. There's also a cinnamon stick in here. So, I mean, this is all the fall spices right here, just in this mixture. I always make a tube of this just to have around for fall so you can make some really good cocktails. And then lastly, let me make sure I'm not missing anything here. The orange bitters. And then, here we go. Grab some Woodford Reserve orange bitters. Do about 2 or 3 dashes of this. And this cocktail is just ridiculous. Yeah, you got to craft some stuff. You could skip the allspice thing. They do sell allspice, the Allspice Dram in the store if you find a good store that has a lot of good cocktail stuff. They do have it for sale. But if you want to make your own, you can totally make your own. This is my favorite cocktail I've been having. There we go. Get in there. Perfect. All right, let's go for a sip of this one. Oh my God, guys. I'm telling you, that is as fall gets in the glass. Oh, I forgot my orange. Got to add a little orange zest to it. Put it around the rim. The combination of the cherry, the allspice, that Butter Pecan, that Irish whiskey in here, this is magic in a glass, I'm telling you. If you guys want a really amazing cocktail to really, serve to your friends and at get-togethers, make these things on Thanksgiving. You can make a whole fucking punch bowl with this stuff. People go crazy for this stuff. I made this for some family members. I ran out of all my allspice stuff like that. Everyone drank it all night. It's incredible stuff. Brett Marquette says, great show for autumn, Jason. Hope to get some rye sent my way. There you go, man. Jason, before you end this, does Old Carter 5 crush Sam Houston 14? Man, does it crush it? I don't know if it crushes it, but I would take Old Carter Batch 5 over the Sam Houston 14 any day of the week. I don't know if it crushes it because the Sam Houston 14 is pretty damn good, but I don't know if it crushes it. But I would still go for the Old Carter Batch 5. How long does the allspice mixture last? It can last for about, I think you could keep it for up to a couple weeks, William. Like I said, the recipe is down in the description of the video. You can click on it. Also, to make the cranberry syrup, it's very simple. That literally takes about 5 minutes to make the cranberry syrup. You just have to refrigerate it for a little bit. Richie Z, Vice Presidential debate is over, but it's been on mute. I'd rather listen and watch Jason see anything. Thanks, Richie. Let's see. Bill Boy Wanda set and on the Baker 7 single barrel tonight. Absolutely phenomenal. The Baker single barrels is probably one of the least talked about single barrels on the market still. So when Baker's was a small batch offering, it was overlooked. Now that it came back in a single barrel, I would venture a guess to say that it might be even, I don't know if it's more overlooked, but I think it's just as overlooked. The stores that I go to that have Baker single barrel are usually sitting on the shelves. I don't know what it is about Baker's, but when you have the Baker's single barrels and you see the neck tags and they say 9, 10 years old, those are really good. It's really good bourbon. Master Drum. So no pumpkin spice cocktail? No. I'm not into pumpkin spice in my cocktails. I'm sure there's a million pumpkin spice cocktails you could look up, but I like my cocktails to be spirit forward. I don't like them to be, I don't like all this sugar and crap in it that, kills it. Yeah, I mean, I make the allspice blend, but I think that kind of complements the whiskey, not overpowers it like a pumpkin spice blend could do it. Hey, Scotty is still here. Master and Drum says, I'm looking forward to you making me a cocktail. That's right. Jeffrey Wax says, bakers over bookers. I agree, Jeffrey. I think at this point in time, I would probably take bakers over, as long as the bakers is over the 7-year mark. Because the 7-year ones that I've had have been good, but not really that special. When you see the Baker single barrels and they're at about 8, 9 years old, it's amazing how much better they are. They really are. Just caught the last hour. Great show. Love cocktails. Excited to try them. Yep, absolutely. Yeah, go to Starbucks for your pumpkin spice if you want. I'm gonna drink my Last Harvest. Shit is delicious. I don't know which one I want to. Man, what is that note I'm getting on the back end? It's reminding me of something. Oh, it's the butter pecan. That's what it is. The butter pecan in the Whistler comes through. Man, that stuff is good. All right, guys, what time is it? 10:39. All right. So I made my cocktails. I'm going to keep sipping on that one. Let me move this out of the way here. That was fun. I'm glad you guys, hopefully you enjoyed that. I definitely wanted to. It's not often I do a cocktail show, but I feel like with fall coming around, it was kind of a cool cocktail show to do. When you talk about these different ingredients, and I just feel like people tend to make more cocktails around when it gets into fall. I don't know what it is, and that includes me. So let me kind of wipe this down a little bit here. Made kind of a mess. Get my orange out of the way. All right, so I have 20 minutes here before I sign off. What do you guys want to see? Do you want to see a blind tasting real quick? I could do kind of a rye blind tasting if you want, since it's kind of a rye night here. Clean that up. Let's see here, guys. I still don't see why Baker's exists when Casey single barrel is there. Yeah, and I think that's why Baker's isn't that popular, because the Casey single barrel picks are there, and they're cheaper, and they're higher proof, and they're about the same age. I think that's the problem that Baker's had. I think people cared more about the 13-year-old Bakers that came out rather than the regular single barrel picks that came out. But again, proof isn't everything. I mean, people love high proof. You're going to have people that don't want something 120 proof. 107 proof is another entryway into something 100 proof or more for a single barrel, which is fine. I know it's not super under, the 120 proof, but it's there. Sugar Kitty says, blind something rye cheap versus middle, similar high. Blind something rye cheap or expensive versus middle, similar high proof. Okay. That sounds good. I'm going to break out my Master and Drum Glencairns. I got 4 here. Mike Franklin, always good to broaden our horizons and try new things. Thanks for the entertainment. Absolutely, Mike. Thanks for tuning in tonight. All right, so let's do this. So let's grab some labels here. All right, so let's pick out what we're gonna do here. So let's throw Cornerstone in the mix, because that's a good premium rye. We'll throw Cornerstone in the mix here. So that's 1. Gotta have a good turkey rye in there. Let's throw some Michter's 10-year in there. Michter's 10-year was actually cheaper than the Cornerstone. America. Okay. This one comes in at, let's see, that's a 92 proof. The Cornerstone was, I think, definitely higher than that, but it's 10 years old. Let's keep that there. You shared Irish whiskey last week. Have you ever tried the yeah, I actually have, Cole. I actually have a Talc glass available in my mash and drum shop. I love the glass so much that my glass guy was actually able to make those types of glasses. So I do have mash and drum Talc glasses in my shop, actually. Here for another shot at the bottle. Thoughts on Blood Oath Pack 6. Picked up one for 90 and haven't gotten to it yet. I love Blood Oath Pack 690. Honestly, if there wasn't, if stuff like the Chateau Labat didn't come out, and some other like really heavy hitter finished bourbons this year, that would have been up there. I really enjoyed the cognac one. That Wild Turkey bottle looks really old. Oh, this one? Yeah, it's from the 80. It's from 84. E.H. Taylor. Okay, that's a good one. I'll throw E.H. Taylor in the mix. E.H. Taylor. All right, guys, last one. What should I throw in there? So I have Cornerstone. Let's see, Corner. I have Michter's 10. And then I just put the E.H. Taylor. Okay. All right, I need one more rye here, guys. Something, let's go something budget here. Something on the budget side. But something on the budget side with a good amount of proof to it. To see how it stacks up against these. What do you guys think? You want to go Midwinter's Double Rye? Not Midwinter's Double Rye. High West Double Rye? Does that sound good? Or, let's see. What do you guys think? Pikesville is the last. Whistle Pig, because it seems no one buys it. Old Forester Rye, Parker's Heritage Rye. I don't have Parker's Heritage Rye, actually, unfortunately. I never got that bottle. I got to taste it, but I never tried it. Actually, you know what, guys? What we can do? We can, yeah, Michter's 10 corner. That's all pretty premium ryes. What can I do for? How about the Rossville Union? You guys want to throw the Rossville Union there, which is just a straight out MGP rye? How does that sound? Could do that. My other inclination, my other idea was to actually throw in the Whistle. I have the Whistle Pig 10-year single barrel pick that I haven't tried yet. I was just going to throw that in the mix just to see how it did. So this is the. I'm not going to put Pikesville in because Pikesville to me is Pikesville always does well. I do love Pikesville. I know is good, so I don't have to blind that. I know Pikesville is worth the money and it's amazing. I want to kind of put these together. So what do you got? Oh, 1776. All right. So you guys let me know in the chat. So here, this is what we're going to do. We have 1776 straight rye, which is right here. This Whistle Pig 10-year or the Rossville Union. Whatever you guys vote, I'll put that in for the last one. I'm sorry. Yeah, you know what? You know what? I'm going to take the 1776 out. It's up to High West Double Rye, Whistle Pig 10-year single barrel, or the Rossville Union. Out of those three, let me know what you guys think. Whistle Pig. Good basic, not too pricey. All right, so let's, we'll take out the Whistle Pig then, because that is expensive. That's like $130, $40 bottle. High West Double Rye or the Rossville Union. I'll go with those two. Actually, a lot of people are saying Whistle Pig. Double Rye, High West, Rossville. Let me go here. High West, Double Rye, High West, Rossville, Whistle Pig, Rossville, High West. Piggy. Somebody just put in new riff. All right. It looks like High West Double Rye is the is the winner here. So I'm going to go with High West Double Rye. Let me go grab it, guys. All right, High West Double Rye. It's coming at you. All right, guys, we are set up here. All right, I'm going to mix them around. Nobody look. We're going to see which one of these ryes come out on top here when it comes to, let's see, value on the shelf. We have some mid-rangers here as well. We have a good range in price points, actually, I think, here, too, which is good. All right, here we go. Move that over here. Mash and Drum, I thought you were gonna trip there and honor the ECB. Yeah, thankfully I did not fall on my ass after the end of that Elijah Craig. I was so careful, guys, though. When I got up after that review, I was like grabbing onto shit. I did not want to fall again. All right, let's go with this one here, guys. Here we go. We'll try to run this through quick, and then we're going to give away our Old Overholt to a lucky winner tonight. And some other samples I'm going to throw in there. We're loving the nose on this one. This one's rich. Very oak. This one I feel like has some age on it. Very sweet. There's almost like a cream soda type note on this one. Reminds me of the Woodinville Rye a little bit, which is not in here. Here we go. Cheers, guys. He hasn't fallen, but the night is still young. I love you, Sugar Kitty. Ooh. I'm actually picking up a chocolate note on that rye. Even after the cocktails, man, the palate is fresh tonight. So let me ask you guys, I'm curious. A lot of people ask me all the time, hey, Jay, you do all these reviews. Do you drink every single night? Do you give your palate a rest? And for me, I actually do. I mean, with the amount of content that I create, you wouldn't think I do, but I do take a lot of breaks in between to keep the palate kind of fresh, to make sure I'm giving accurate reviews. I'm wondering if you guys do the same, or do you guys do it more in like a dry month or a dry week where you don't drink for a week and you just kind of reset your palate? What do you guys kind of do when it comes to that? Because for me, I usually, after I do a review, especially like something like after Elijah Craig Barrel Proof one that I did, I definitely take a break and I just kind of, I take a little bit of a break from drinking for like a day, maybe a day and a half. But then there's so much whiskey, it's hard to kind of stop. Jason Coates says yes. This is really delicious, minty orange. There's some proof to that one, whatever that one is. I'm getting a higher proof expression on that one. Nice long finish. Adam Dorman says, I'm betting that High West Double Rye finishes second or third. The turkey will be hard to beat. I mean, possibly. Let's go to number 2 here. So number 2 is way lighter on the nose. This is a lot more of a like a sparky type rye, nose coming off here. It's very sweet. This is a really good mix of like pine and sweet. Man. So you do dry January. Okay, so you go a full month. That's interesting. Trev Wilson says, I'll get a break when I'm dead. That's a good call, man. Trev Wilson is my hero, yes. Try to keep it to the weekends. The kids could drive. Of course, the kids can drive one too. True. Richie Z says, Master Drum, when I don't drink whiskey, I drink beer with my lady. Okay. Reset your palate with some ghost peppers. Dude, I don't think you'll have a palate left if you have some ghost peppers. Brian Brennan says, if I really want to pick up tasting notes, I'll take a couple days off to reset the palate. Yeah, for me, I feel like a couple days does it. You know, if I'm tasting a lot of stuff, you know, back to back, if I take off about 2 or 3 days, whenever I do a blind tasting, especially if I'm doing if I'm going against somebody, I don't drink anything for like 2 days because I want to go in that thing fucking fresh. And blind tastings to me are, they're the true measure of, it's not that when I do blind tastings, I don't feel like I'm going against the person. I feel like I'm going against myself. And if I don't do a good job in trying to pick out some of these flavors, I kind of disappoint myself. So I take it seriously. Let's go for a sip of this one. That's really good. Not nearly as much depth as number one, but for what it has, number two has a lot of flavor. It's very sweet. There's like a what the hell is that? It's like a cotton candy note I'm getting on that one. Keith Schmidt. I didn't drink all of February, and then the pandemic hit, and I've been drinking most days ever since. Yeah, the pandemic has definitely put I don't know if you want to call it a damper, but it definitely put some more pressure on you if you're sitting around just to try whiskeys. I've done more blind tastings during the pandemic than I ever have. I just keep doing them. Hey, what's up, Whiskey Ace? Andrew Sproul, do you try to avoid spicy food or crazy flavors as well, the mash and drum? I avoid garlic over anything because I'm Italian, and garlic, when I eat garlic, that shit sticks in me. It comes out of my pores. I feel like I can't get it out of my fucking mouth. It's all there. My hands are going crazy. I'm sorry. But yeah, the garlic comes out of me, and I feel like I can't shed it out of my palate for like a week after I have it. So I avoid all garlic before I'm doing a blind tasting because I really do feel like that shit, messes with my palate, honestly. I like 2 a lot, actually. Let's go to number 3 here. Oh. Number 3 probably has the most balanced nose. I like number 3 a lot, actually. JJ, I'm getting definitely some of your Glens. Jay, it's super cool. Yeah, man. They come with these really cool wooden caps. Let me see if I can zoom in on that. There it is. So these actually have some plastic rings around the side, so it actually holds it airtight. So if you're not ready to drink yet, you can literally just keep it on there and will not spill out. So they're really cool. Those are available on my my glass site. Link in the description below, guys. Yeah, I'm probably blurry because so the camera's on an autofocus, and then the reason why I keep it on autofocus is because anytime I want to show you guys a close-up of a bottle, the camera will focus on the bottle. But if I put anything in front of me, sometimes it'll focus on the glasses or the bottle. So sorry about that. But I feel like with this new camera, I'd like to show you guys the bottles if I can. Yeah, garlic and onion can definitely be palate killers. Definitely, Jason. Ooh. 3 is a lot sweeter than I thought, but there's also like this, again, I'm getting, man, that's interesting. There's like a grape note in that one that I'm picking up, which I know is weird for a rye, but this has like a grape bubblegum thing going on. Oh, it's focused on these bottles, maybe? I'm gonna move these out of the way. Move that out of the way. Damn bottles. How we doing now? Getting a little bit better? There we go. Now it's focusing up on me. Here we go. We have the Glens. I'll move that out of the way. Let me move these. Don't spill. Okay. Now we're good. Monroe Doctrine, sorry I'm late. Might pick your brain on live streaming, building a PC gaming setup to live stream on YouTube. Oh, nice. Anytime, Monroe. Always glad to help out channels, man. All right, let's go to number 4 here. Oh, number 4 is probably the spiciest I've had on the nose. Yeah, it's good. But to me, it's not, I don't know. Now he's got a bottle on the floor to trip over. 100% Pure says, yes, I'm Italian and my wife is Mexican. Our kitchen smells incredible. Dude, come on. So me and my girlfriend, we go to this place here in Columbus called Arepazo, which is I think it's Venezuelan. So if you guys have ever had an arepa, which is it's basically like the Venezuelan version of a corn cake, but they use like masa and they make these corn cakes. And once you cook them, you kind of cut them and it makes a pocket, and they shove it. They freaking fill it with like braised pork, braised beef. I mean chicken, anything you want. Then they put like peppers, onions, like this cilantro cream sauce with some plantains, some sweet plantains in there. Oh my God. It's my biggest like guilty pleasure. Every time I go to that place, I go crazy for it. If any of you guys in Columbus have not gone to Arepazo yet, dude, get there immediately. Actually, D has some pretty good depth of flavor to it. I'm actually picking up a very strong, like a strawberry note in that one, which is very weird for a rye. I do remember getting strawberry in the Old St. Nick rye, the what the hell's that rye that they released? I want to say Redemption, but it's not Redemption. What the hell's the rye from that one? Oh, the Perfection, the aged Perfection ryes. When I had that had like a strawberry note in it that I was picking up that I thought was just nuts for a rye whiskey. Keishman flavor, yeah, Flavortown, Ohio. Please don't get me started on that shit. Oh my God. Hey, our Columbus in that Arepazo so good. Yeah, man, right? Shit is unfreaking believable. Italian man and Mexican wife equals jumping kids. Oh, it's so true. Oh my God. Whiskey Ace, they're a great arepa spot in Brooklyn, actually. Yeah, that's where I fell in love with them, dude. Was in fucking Brooklyn. When I was going to the freaking food festivals and I was walking around. So they did a little simple. So you would go to the carts and they would have the arepas, but just like melted mozzarella in there. Shove some mozzarella in there, freaking grill it. get a nice browning, a nice caramelization on both sides of the arepa, and then the freaking mozzarella melts in there. Dude, I used to get like 6 of those things. The best. Fucking best. I'm getting really Italian right now, guys. I'm sorry. It's coming out. I'm feeling good right now because I think those cocktails and the mix of shit in there. I don't like get tipsy very often, but I think the mix of stuff has gotten me a little bit on the edge here tonight, guys. But I'm still feeling all right. The palate's good. The palate's fresh. I'm not going to fall. Let's go back to number 1. Where is this restaurant located? So there's one downtown in Columbus. There's also one in Gahanna. I'm not sure if they have any other locations. Just go to Adepazo. You know, let's look up Adepazo, Columbus, and all the locations will come up. It's one of my favorites, man. Jason's eyes are twinkling. I know, just like thinking about it. It's like, I want some Adepazo right now. All right, so I think this one's definitely up there. That one's up there. It's going to come down to okay. So it has definitely a little bit more depth to it than the last one. All right, so these are probably my top 2. Probably go with these 2 as my top 2, 1 and 2. Well, I have to kind of figure out what I like better out of 1 and 4. They're really close. The 4 on the nose here is incredible. Edward Fulmer, can the fans get a replay of Falling Jason? Sure. Do I have the fall on here? Oh my God, I don't. Hold on, let me see if I can upload it real quick, guys. If you guys are asking for it, let me see if I can get the fall here. Where is the fall? There it is. I'm going to try to upload this real quick, guys. Then if I can get it up here right now, I will play it for you. Well, I'm figuring out 1 and 4 here is my favorite. Oh, there it is. All right, you guys ready? It uploaded. I was scared that the file was going to be too big. So let me unclick this comment. And it never gets old, me falling on my ass. Here it comes. I fell. Holy shit. Just so you guys know, I stayed on the floor and laughed for a good 15 minutes before I got up. It was terrible. Oh my God. Hey, Dustin, DHO's in the house. What's up, man? I fell. DHO says, bored of the debate crap. Figured I'd talk bourbon. There you go, buddy. Actually, we're talking rye tonight, man. DH Silva, actually, Dustin, you don't really talk about rye too much. Do you like rye? Do you not like rye? Do you not really drink rye? Kind of curious. So it's between, I think this one's the winner. Number 4 is really good. Number 1, definitely second. Now I'm going to go for these 2 for 3rd and 4th. I'm going to put this 3rd and this 4th. I'm basing it on complexity on the front of the palate, and I'm finishing it, and the finish as well. The finish on it, on a good rye, more than any other whiskey, you gotta judge it on the finish because you want that spice, you want that lingering aspect to it. So here we go. That ECBP did him in. Yeah, it did. That day, it did me in. I didn't even feel the freaking battery pack on the bottom of my floor. That's why I stepped on it and fell on my ass. Trav Wilson. Oh, when I fell and no one was there for me, Life Alert was there for me. Yes. I've fallen and I can't get up. I'm surprised Jason didn't like 14. I'm loving it. 14? 14 what? Sam Houston 14? I love Sam Houston 14. If that's what you're talking about. Kevin Henderson. Jason, you tried Davidson Reserve Tennessee whiskey? I have. How do I say this diplomatically? I think it's good for such a young whiskey, but it definitely needs some time. I think where it's going, I think it's headed in the right direction as far as what it could be. It definitely reminds me of one of those distilleries where the stuff, it tastes older than it is. But honestly, it's just not my flavor profile just yet. I do like the 4-grain. Davidson Reserve makes a really good 4-grain. I was kind of a fan of that one. But yeah, I don't mind Davidson Reserve. I think it's good. It's a younger whiskey, and that's where, I just think that stuff needs a little bit more time. DHL, I like some rye, but yeah, I don't buy much. Though a 23-year vintage rye from Willett about 10 years ago is still one of my top 20 all-time bottles I bought. I could see that. A 23-year rye. Yep. Hey, we got Moose in the house. Moose is here. Moose 76 is in the house. What's up, man? Ben Demon Hunter, I don't think I said hi to you. What's up, man? All right, let's figure out what came in what place here, guys, before we give away our bottle of Old Overholt. So last place. Unfortunately. Well, when you put it up against these, whatever. It is what it is. It's the High West. The High West came in 4th place. But I will tell you, though, this still, to me, is one of the best affordable ryes on the shelf. You're just going against some really good ryes up here right now. But I got to tell you, man, it definitely... It hung in there. It's definitely got... This is the one that I said had a little bit of a grapey... I think this is one that was a little bit grapey, like bubblegummy to me, was the High West. Let's see what the third one is. That is not so... No, actually, no. This was the grapey one, which is what I got on it when I reviewed it. And that was the E.H. Taylor Rye. So now it comes down to the Cornerstone and the Michter's. So I'm curious which one actually came out on top here. Let me move these out of the way so the focus works. Here we go. I don't know here. Let's see. What is that? Oh, shit. Are you kidding me? All right, so kind of a surprise here. The Cornerstone came in second, and the Michter's Rye 10-year comes in and gets first in this blind. So, this actually doesn't surprise me. As much as it might surprise some, the Michter's 10-year rye this year was actually really, really good. I don't know if there's older juice in this one. Sometimes Michter's is known to put older whiskey in their bottles, even though the age statement says otherwise. But I liked the Michter's Rye this year way more than the Michter's 10-year bourbon. The Michter's 10-year rye was very impressive this year. And you could taste it. I mean, it just has depth of flavor. It's got to be older. I mean, this thing, compared to the Cornerstone, the nose on the Michter's destroys the... Now, again, the Cornerstone has had a lot of oxidation. It might not be as potent as it was when I first opened the bottle. The Michter's 10, even though it's a lower proof, is an absolute flavor bomb. It's really good. I'm a huge fan of this one. This is so damn good. Unfortunately, it's like $160, $120, whatever it may be. DH Silv, M10 Rye over M10 Bourbon. Totally agree, man. Totally agree. The Rye for the Michter's. If you're going to spend the money on a Michter's 10, the Rye. The Rye is what you want to do. The Rye is what you want to go with. The Michter's 10-year bourbon, not so much. I've had a couple of single barrels that were really good, but still not worth the $120 price point. I had it in my overrated, overpriced bourbon video. I just don't think the Michter's 10 is worth that type of price point. Now, the Rye, on the other hand, if you love rye whiskey, between these two right here, guys, the Michter's barrel strength rye and the Michter's 10-year rye, two of the best rye whiskeys on the market right now. Hands fucking down. Love it. Yeah, retail is about $130. 10 is pretty old for rye. Yeah, I mean, for the most part, you don't come across a lot of 10-year-old ryes. Actually, what I will do real quick, guys, then we'll give. So while I'm doing this, Trev, why don't you go through the list, give the randomizer, let me know how many names are in the list, and we'll give away the Old Overholt and some surprise samples as well. So what I'm going to do actually is grab. So this is the Michter's 10, and so this is the Kentucky Owl 10-year, which I just got today. Actually, this was this came into Ohio actually kind of late. This just hit this week. The Kentucky Owl 10-year rye. This came out in like January or some shit, and it just came out this week in Ohio. I love the Kentucky Owl rye, so I usually buy them. So this is a 10-year, and the Michter's is a 10-year. Let's do a quick comparison while Trev is working the numbers. Oh, not to mention the toasted rye, of course. So this is a pretty fresh bottle, so let me try to get some air in it here. So a couple of programming, announcements, guys. So next up, you will see my review for the Joseph Magnus Cigar Blend. I have two of them that I reviewed. After that, you will see, what did I do after that? What the hell was the one I filmed after that one? Did I film one after that one yet? Oh, maybe I didn't. Oh, I'm actually, yes. So after the Joseph Magnus Cigar Blend, I filmed my top 5. You can only have 5 whiskeys, but no bourbons or ryes allowed. So I had to go Scotch and Irish whiskeys for that one. So that one was that was a pretty fun one to do too. So keep on the lookout for those guys. 1 to 50. Perfect, Trev. Michter's Toasted Rye for 150? No. DH Silv, no. That's too much for that. I wouldn't pay more than 100 for the Michter's Toasted. It's good, but 150 good? I don't think so. That's just my opinion. Again, a lot of people are going to pay the money for rarity, but I don't think it's $150 good. It's a very delicious, very good rye whiskey. I don't think it's $150 good, though. Rock Hill Farm Single Barrel, 130. Nope. I wouldn't pay 130 for that. Honestly, dude, I'd rather pay the 130 for an Elmer T. Lee. I just think Elmer T. Lee is a little bit more rounded in flavor than Rock Hill Farms. I think I talked about this last week, I should say. Elmer T. Lee, to me, there's something about Elmer T. Lee with the flavor profile of Mash Bill 2 that from Buffalo Trace that just, I don't know. There's something about it that I love it. Rock Hill Farms, I think, just comes through a little bit more proof-wise. Maybe I should do a blind tasting video, just do all the Mash Bill 2 and see what actually really comes on top. The only problem with that, though, is they're single barrels. So, if I have a few shitty single barrels of one or the other, it's not really a fair comparison. I don't know. It's one of those things where you think about doing, but because they're all single barrels, it's a little bit tough. Baumburgers 2020 was worth 110. I actually, Austin Scott, the Baumburgers has opened up very nicely. I will say that. I will be doing a review of that one too. All right, so Kentucky Owl here, right? No, that's the M10. This is the Kentucky Owl. So on the nose, the M10 superior to the Kentucky Owl 10-year. Let's go to the palate here. The Kentucky Owl 10-year came in at 114 proof this year, but at the freaking beginning of the year. This year's Rock Hill Farms is so this and delicious. I'd put it up there. Uncle Buck. I can't say I've had this year's. Maybe it is, but again, they're single barrels. So the couple that I've had have been really good, but you know, I don't find it like a million times better than an Elmer T. Lee. But I never see Rock Hill Farms. That shit is a ghost. Rock Hill Farms is in the Ohio lottery. Actually, that was the other bottle I meant to tell you guys. Rock Hill Farms is in the lottery along with the Old Fitz 14 and 15 as the first batch, which is kind of a weird combination. But there's a horsey on it. There's a horsey on Rock Hill Farms. It's on the front of the label. It's a painted horsey, but not a collectible one, unfortunately. Oh, the Kentucky Owl 10 is good. But again, it's way more on that minty profile and the spearmint and the orange, a little bit of caramel there, where the Michter's 10. Yeah, I still like the Michter's 10. So 200 versus 130. As good as this is, I would still go Michter's 10, honestly. I just love the balance on this, the sweetness, the rye spice, the spearmint. This one is more minty and piney. I do love this. I mean, this one needs to open up. These Kentucky Owls really do open up beautifully. This is a fresh pour. But yeah, I mean, the Michter's 10 over the bourbon any day of the week. How many bottles of Rock Hill Farms were in the lottery? I don't know how many are in there. Honestly, I just don't. It's weird. So when you enter the lottery here in Ohio, you can do a combination. You can do just the Old Fitz, just the Rock Hill Farms, or you can do both. Because I already have a couple of bottles of Rock Hill Farms, I just did the Old Fitz 14. That's the only one I want. So E.H. Taylor single barrel for $80. That's actually not a bad price for that. That's actually a decent price. I would go because the single barrels for E.H. Taylor can go from about 9 to 12 years old. Not a lot of people know that. So you get some good age on some of those single barrels for the E.H. Taylors. So $80 for that is actually a good deal, especially considering it won, World Whiskey of the Year or whatever the fuck it won. If I don't have a chance to buy the Cream Kentucky in Ohio, it's rigged. I'm with you, Greg. That's the one bottle I really, really want is the damn King of Kentucky. I want that bottle so bad I could feel it in my bones. Is there a bourbon or rye that blinds worse and you generally enjoy it? Tyler Compton, yes. Anything. Four Roses is a bourbon that I love. I love Four Roses single barrels. I love Small Batch Select. I'm a huge fan. Four Roses, the 2019 limited edition, was my bourbon, my whiskey of the year last year. I thought it was absolutely a phenomenal, phenomenal bourbon. But Four Roses never, ever does well in blind tastings. And I don't know why. There's just a weird profile to it when you compare it to other bourbons that just never does well. I don't know what it is, but on its own, Four Roses is really great stuff. Yeah, Austin Scott already called it. Yeah, Four Roses. Right with you, man. Absolutely. Andrew Spurrell. Truer words have never been typed. I want the cock. JC, I got an EHT barrel proof this year. Can't believe it. Nice, man. The barrel proof this year is really good. Let's see. Austin Scott barrel strength 4 rows is awesome, but nothing they make blinds well. Yeah, I don't understand what it is about it. I think it's those high rye recipes that they throw together that just never do well for whatever reason. Bourbon Bites, the Master Drum. I may have an E.H. Taylor single barrel pick coming my way this week. Have you had any of them? If not, I'm down to share a sample with you. So Bourbon Bites, I've heard of these single barrel picks that have come out. They're going for about 400 to 600 on the secondary. I can't say I've had one, but listen, those. So I did that video about it because I was like pissed off that it won the freaking whiskey, the world bourbon of the year or whatever the fuck it won, and that guy on Forbes magazine said at $230 or $250, it's still a bargain. Whatever, fuck that guy. It's not. Listen, that is a $60 to $80 bourbon at best. Now, a single barrel, yeah, that's special. I think that's cool. But when you think about it, you have to understand who's picking that barrel. If it's a store that you trust, that you know has really good palates, then it's probably something to seek out and spend the money on. But if it's like a website that it's just some Joe Schmo, hey, we have a pick, buy it for $300, fuck that guy. No, it's not worth that amount of money unless you know the guy that's picking it, the group that's picking it, knows exactly what they're doing. And that's the thing about the E.H. Taylor picks for single barrels. Because honestly, any bottle, I have a single barrel right there. I mean, yeah, it's not a pick, but it's a single barrel. And my single barrel could destroy whatever the fuck some idiot picked. You just never know. So if you know of a store that picks epic single barrels, then definitely it's worth the money. But some asshole that's just going to charge you $400 because it's just a pick, that doesn't make sense to me. And I think a lot of people fall into that trap. Jason Code says, I just got 2 ounces from the Bourbon Junkies, thought it sucked. What was that, DH? So was that the, let's see, I rejected the 2019 LE4 was in a 15 bourbon blind in the screening, but then I brought it back against the winners and ranked it 3rd. Yeah. I mean, that LE on its own was amazing, but yeah, in blinds, for whatever reason, the Four Roses just doesn't do well. I don't know what it is. Exactly, B Sims. Yeah. So even if it's a pick, if Buffalo Trace gives you 3 crappy bottles, you got to pick one. It's a messed up system, even if you have great tasters. True. Maybe it's worth $250 to the polo tucked into shorts crowd with the flipped up collars. Dude, this thing is so fucking smooth. All right. 1 to 50, Trev Wilson. I'm sorry to keep you up late, buddy. Here we go. We're going to pick our winner tonight, 1 through 50. Pick a number between 1 and 50. Here we go, guys. And it is?
42.
42. 42 is the big winner. Who do we got, Trev? Yeah, I mean, normally Buffalo. I don't know what they do with what Buffalo Trace does with single barrel E.H. Taylor. I do know with Weller Full Proof or Weller in general. When I did the 2 picks, we got 4 barrels to choose from. I don't know if E.H. Taylor is less or more. So, DHL just did a Knob Creek pick with group. They gave us 3 bottles, 9 years old, and they were no joke. Within 30 feet of each other was a joke. Okay. Hot Buttery Rolls, you're so damn handsome, the Master Drum. Hot Buttery Rolls, man, I love you. Guys, if you haven't checked out Hot Buttery Rolls, he's got a great channel. He's kind of a man after my own heart. He's telling a little bit of history about the bottles, going into the information. I love you, Hot Buttery Rolls. Good job, buddy. Which M10? Wait, oh, I missed that one. I got 2 EHT single barrels and don't regret it. Dude, they're great whiskeys. I mean, I'm not denying good bourbon. It's really great bourbon. What I can't stand is the assholes that will charge you $400 to $500 for a single barrel pick. That's bullshit. Sorry. Any way you slice it. I thought I saw a congrats. I didn't see. Let me see here. Keith Schmidt, which M10, Rye or bourbon? The Rye. Easily the Rye. Hot Buttery Rolls, what's up? Oh, Trev Wilson, 42 goes to Jim Muller. Oh, shit. Of course, 42. Jim Muller, congrats, buddy. You get the... And what's good is I know Jim doesn't live in Ohio or Pennsylvania, so that's actually perfect for him. I was hoping somebody not within Ohio, Pennsylvania actually wins. Guys, so we had about 200 and between 250 and 200 people watching all night. This was awesome. Thanks for hanging with me as I made all these fucking cocktails. I'm telling you guys, they're really good. I'm going to give you guys a quick chance before we sign off here to get a quick snapshot of the recipes if you haven't yet. So the first one we did was the Port Old Fashioned. If you guys want to take a quick screenshot of that one. This one's really, really good. A very good crowd pleaser, especially around fall. Next up, we did the Black Walnut Old Fashioned, which is probably my second favorite in this group. Montenegro Amaro is about $30. Orange juice is pretty cheap. If you get walnut bitters or cherry bitters, also works out really well, and a good rye whiskey. I did it with the Rare Breed Rye, and it was actually really delicious. Next up, we had the Drunk Uncle, which was a peated Scotch, some sweet vermouth, some Amaro, and an orange twist as well. Really great whiskey if you like smoky stuff. And then lastly was the Late Harvest. To make the cranberry syrup, to make the Allspice Dram, links in the description below. Go check them out. And what can I say, guys? This was a really fun live. Tune in next week. Special guest. Going to be doing a crazy blind tasting right here live on the Mash and Drum with my special guest. Plus, we have Whiskey in the Sticks coming up, Sipper Social Club, Destination Bourbon, Whiskey Central with Shayla. Trev Wilson, we're going to be doing a blind tasting soon, set up by Jeffrey Wack. It's going to be a fun next few weeks as we lead into the holiday season. Look out for my next review, which will be the Joseph Magnus Cigar Blend. Hope you guys had fun tonight. Thank you for the super chats. Thanks for hanging out. I can't say enough about you guys. Thank you so much. I love you all. And as I always say, it's not about the whiskey. It's the people you share with. I'm going to take the, let's see, where is it? The Michter's 10. Dram of the night, guys. Dram of the night. I'm giving it to the Michter's 10-year rye. That was my favorite tonight. Out of everything I tried, that Michter's 10 was the hitter. There it is. Go get it. Michter's 10. Cheers, guys. I will see you next week on the Mash and Drum. Cheers.